Well, all right. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bathroom Planning Projects. My name is Ron. This is my good friend Richard. Together today, we're going to take some, if not all of the confusion out of the planning process necessary for that bathroom remodel, no matter what level of bathroom remodel you're doing, from that full gut job to just maybe replacing that vanity. We have got you covered. But before I get into all those details, let me set your expectations for you. This is not a how to do the actual remodel.
True.
It's the planning process necessary,
Mhm.
an important part
Very
of the
important.
that's right, of the process prior to getting down to doing it. Now, we do have other workshops out there, everything from replacing a toilet to replacing a vanity to updating your vanity,
Mhm.
right? That are there for you after you get the planning process squared away. So throughout this workshop, we're going to dive into those key aspects of bathroom remodeling, things that you're going to need to understand, like budgeting and measuring.
Nice.
Talk about how to update the vanity that you currently have or rip it out and put in a new one.
Mhm.
We're going to discuss showers and even shower heads.
Nice.
And after all that, we're going to work our way down to that floor and we're going to talk a little bit about tile and other flooring inspiration. Finally, we're going to discuss that bling, that new accessories that goes right along with it, such as those towel bars and lighting.
That sounds awesome. And when we are finished today, you will walk away with a complete understanding of the process, right? Which is involved in your bathroom remodeling, a clear vision and the confidence to make it happen. You will have the necessary resources to create a bathroom that not only enhances the value of your house, which is super important, but also becomes a haven. Remember those resources I'm talking about on the bottom of your screen. We have some resources guide. Be sure to click on that and download those PDFs, okay?
So I think I'm ready. I think you're ready. So without further ado, why don't you take us through bathroom considerations?
Awesome, Ron. So I know you have tons of experience when it comes to bathroom remodels. I've seen your bathroom, it looks amazing. We're gonna get into more details, maybe pop up some pictures around there throughout the workshop. But can you give me some ideas of items that will give you the most bang for your buck, right, for our customers? What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a great way to start. One of the things that I would do if I were you, and that I have been you,
Mhm.
is I want you to tell yourself or ask yourself this. What is it you want to change about your current bathroom?
Or what you don't like?
Or what don't you like about your bathroom? So, for instance, the vanity, the shower, the toilet, the tub fixtures.
Yeah.
These items are definitely worth taking a look at, and it'll definitely elevate the overall look and feel of your bathroom. Now, Richard, what are some of those other important items out there that you need to look at when you're dealing with a bathroom remodel?
Sure. So whether you're looking at some cosmetic changes or to your half bathroom or major remodel of your primary bathroom, we have some ideas to help you get started. We're going to focus on great updates that fit most budgets, right? From your do it yourself to all the way professional budgets, right? But before you start that update, the most important thing you need to do is do some research and determine the products you want to use, right? So, Ron, what are some questions one should ask themselves before beginning the remodel?
I love the fact that you asked that because before I even started on the remodels that I've done in the past,
Mm.
it took me a long time to sit down and just kind of ask myself major questions. First of all, we talked about earlier, like, what's wrong with my current bathroom?
Yeah.
Is it too small? Do I need more storage? Is it out of date? Does it need to be brought up into this century?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't need a bathtub. These are things to think about. Do I need to do some redoing or moving around of plumbing, to get what I need? Can the look be achieved just by me doing it, or will I need some assistance like a plumber or another professional?
Yes.
What do I want to get out of it? Do I want it to be, like you said earlier, a haven, a sanctuary, or is it just a functional bathroom,
Yeah.
right, to get it all done? Do I want to give it style? Do I want to have more flair with it? And oh, by the way, can I live without that bathroom for a while?
That's right, because what happens if you only have one?
That's right. You got to be able to think about those things. Do I want to make that bathroom bigger? Am I going to take down a wall somewhere else to maybe steal some space to make the bathroom a little bigger?
Yeah.
Do I want to add updated high-end features, heated floors? Do I want a sauna? Do I want a wet room, jetted tubs? These things, ladies and gentlemen, will superly impact the overall cost of the project. And also, they may impact the power necessary in order to run that overall bathroom,
Yes.
right? So we have to think about those things. And speaking of cost, let's talk a little bit about that budget.
Yeah. So, wow, that was a lot of thinking, Ron. I can imagine you did that where? Right in the bathroom?
Right in the bathroom.
Sitting on that toilet, right? All right. So, budget. That was all great information and really important questions to ask before diving into the project. But with all of that said, this really leads us to our following topic, and it's a big question. How much is this going to cost me? What's a good budget? Should I go, like you said, a simple do-it-yourself budget, or should I have a professional budget? Or hey, why not have both types, right? So plan it out so you have both options. What are you going to do and make that big decision? Can you elaborate just a little bit more about budgets, Ron?
Well, I most certainly can do that. But your budget is based on what you can afford.
Yes.
But it's also based on want versus do I need? And it's also based on how you answered some of the questions that I posed to you just a few minutes earlier. Now, one of the major factors that's going to impact the budget, Richard, is going to be the overall size and the depth of the renovation. A bathroom remodel can cost anywhere from maybe $5,000 for a powder room makeover to up to $30,000 or more.
Wow.
For a primary bathroom. Total renovation is going to include most certainly the replacement of a bath or tub or shower.
Yeah.
That's going to majorly pump up the costs,
Okay.
right? Now, everyone here may be thinking that's an awful lot of money, but I want you to take in consideration this. Remember that a primary piece of that pie or that budget is going to have to do with labor.
Yes.
So as we go through this, I want you to start thinking about things that you think you might be able to take on, because you can save yourself thousands of dollars,
So what this guy did.
if you can do it yourself and have the contractor piecemeal certain things in there for you. I like to call it the hybrid approach to a bathroom remodel. It's where you're going to take some of what you can do and what the pros can do, and you can mix them together.
If you're looking for a modest remodel that can save you money, think about these type of things. So let's say you have a vanity, right? You can replace the vanity, sure, or you can repaint the vanity. We have an awesome workshop that talks about how to repaint cabinets, which is very similar. Mr. Ron George here went ahead and created that workshop. And here's a little example of one of the cabinets that he did paint. We're going to get more into that pretty soon. You can also retile the floor and walls yourself. And guess what? We have another workshop that shows you how to lay down tiles. So we're getting ready, right? You're going to leave out of here with so much knowledge. It's going to be amazing. And one of the most things that I like to do when I do a remodel is that's simple but very effective is replacing small items like the faucet or the accessories, right? Cabinet knobs. You have no idea how much a bathroom can change by just simply changing a knob from a squared knob to a elongated, right, handle. That makes all the difference, okay?
Things to think about. What you want to do. You may encounter a lot of unexpected issues that may arise.
Most of the time they do.
Case in point, I pulled all mine out, and guess what I found? I found my fact that my subfloor was rotted out by a water that was actually being exposed from a leak that was in one of my drain pipes. It had rotted out my bathroom subfloor. So that was incurred expenses that I didn't realize that I had because I found pre-existing damage. Maybe the person that did it before you didn't do it up to code, right? Things to think about. Now, I don't want to scare you away because that's not what we're here to do.
No.
But you also need to understand that we have an awesome bathroom remodel cost guide online that will help you walk all the way through that entire remodel process and considerations. And we can also come out and give you a free in-home consultation. Not me, not Richard, but Home Depot. Now, speaking of consultations and quotes, why don't you say we peel back the onion
Okay.
about do it yourself versus hiring a pro to do the work?
That sounds amazing.
So when we think about doing it yourself, there are some decisions that you're going to have to make before taking on this project. When is the correct time to bring in the pro? I'm going to tell you when the correct time was for me.
Okay.
All right. I installed the vanity. I did the tile. I did the heated floors. I did all those things. I put the pedestal bathtub in. When I got to my shower, I tiled the shower. I called in the pros.
What did you let them do, Ron? You basically did almost everything.
No, the glass enclosure.
Yes.
It had to be laser measured.
Okay.
So I had to have them come do that. I had them do my vanity tops because they were quartz.
Okay.
And I wanted to make sure that they were going to fit correctly because it was a custom vanity and you couldn't buy a stock vanity right from a store or right from like online or a shelf because it wasn't going to fit.
Got it.
So those are things to make sure you think about. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a ton of different online tutorials on topics related to remodeling your bathroom and can determine what parts of the work that you may want to handle on your own.
Got it.
But I will advise you to know your limitations and be aware of building codes because your home might be an older home and currently it might not be up to code, but because it hasn't been messed with yet,
Okay.
it's grandfathered in and you don't have to worry about it. But the minute you open it up and start to change something out, you may be held accountable to a building code. So you might want to make sure that you understand that so that you can bring it up for code, right? And you might need a licensed professional, for instance, electrical work.
Yeah.
Right? Codes are changing electrical work all the time.
Sure.
Or even for the plumbing. So it's always best to consult those professionals to ensure that you're staying within the legal left and right limits of codes.
Yeah, and definitely talking about codes, if you live in New York, you did a remodel in New York, and you have certain codes in New York, those codes might not be the same in Georgia, okay? So take into account that, right? Just because you did something in one state doesn't mean that in another state it's going to be exactly the same. That's why it's important to sometimes hire a professional, let them know, right? So a professional might be able to handle like you were saying earlier on, Ron, a particular task, right, with faster or sometimes even better results. This will add to the labor expense, right? It's going to be a little bit higher, but could mean significant savings in your time. And the most important part, frustration, okay? We want to make this a happy situation, enjoyable situation. Let's put it that way, okay? So when you're creating the design for the layout of your bathroom remodel, take accurate measurements. That's the most important part. So that new vanity, the new fixtures you selected, that they fit, okay? Why would you buy something without knowing if it's going to fit? It's just going to add to your frustration.
Oh, goodness gracious. You don't want to do that. For instance, like relocating fixtures.
Yeah.
Or like the toilet or a tub or bathroom faucets. It might not be possible because the plumbing cost to replace the tub with a custom shower might kind of like blow out your projects. You want to make sure that you're taking those things in consideration. You also want to make sure that you have that alternate bathroom that we talked about earlier, right? Including storage for toiletries and stuff so that way you can be utilizing that bathroom so you can keep the other bathroom zipped off so there's no dust or debris coming throughout your house, right?
Yeah.
And of course, trying to determine what you want to do yourself or whether you want to hire that contractor.
Yeah, and be ready, guys. I mean, remember, a bathroom remodel, a complete remodel, is not going to take 1 or 2 days. So get ready. Ron, I know where Ron's going with this, but it'll take maybe a lot more than that. So you got to get ready, get that second bathroom ready. Like Ron said, add those storages. Maybe buy one of those inexpensive plastic storage units that you can put some stuff in and then later on use it on another thing, or maybe just throw it out if you want to. It's up to you. But just be ready that this is not a weekend project. That's all.
And especially if you are taking this on yourself, there's something you're also going to have to take in consideration. What are you going to do with the old stuff?
True.
How are you going to dispose of it? Determine how to dispose of the fixtures, the toilet, the tile, the drywall, the tub, whatever it is that you're trying to get rid of as far as from the demo that you're going to do. You know, for an extensive project, you might have to rent that waste container. That roll-up waste container might be a solution.
Awesome. I love that tip. So you can also go to our Home Depot home services. These pros are there to make your bathroom dreams come to life. Look for a link to the Home Depot services on the resources guide on the bottom of your screen, like I was saying. So go ahead and download it, print it, keep it with you. Go to your local Home Depot. It's really going to help you out, okay? Remember, it's going to be available after the workshop as well. Now, if you want to do it yourself, then we have dozens of guides available also on homedepot.com, right? We have other workshops that can give you details with your projects. Now, speaking of details and being accurate, okay, in your measuring. Let's talk about that a little bit, all right? So before doing any planning or buying, always measure all your walls and current fixtures, okay? Create a layout of your measurements, which include the plumbing in your bathroom. We're not asking you to make like a 3D style, diagram, but more or less locate the items that are in your bathroom so you know exactly where they are. There's no sense in falling in love with a new tub or an oversized shower if then you figure out, oh, that's not going to fit unless I start moving walls, but I'm not interested in moving walls. These are certain basic measurements you need to keep in mind.
Now, you can also refer to the National Kitchen and Bath Association, which is a very, very good place to go for some specifics in measuring for code requirements in bathrooms. Here's a for instance, a toilet. I like to use the toilet because, it makes kind of sense because now you've got the gray water versus black water. And the difference between that really quick is gray water is like your shower water or the water coming out of your sinks when you're washing your hands. And black water is your toilet water.
Wastewater.
Wastewater. So that's the difference. So you want to pay real attention to that black water situation. So a toilet's minimum clearance from a wall or fixture is 15 inches. It doesn't really seem like a whole lot, but that's usually what it is in most places. But the National Kitchen and Bath Association, Richard, we want to recommend 18 inches. Personally, I want to keep it about 2 foot away, right? But sometimes you just don't have that kind of room.
Yeah.
These are super important facts to understand when you're getting into that remodel.
Okay.
Now, we've talked a little bit about measurements.
Okay.
What are some other factors, Richard, that they should be keeping in mind while preparing for that remodel?
So this is a really nice topic, and it reminds me of Ron. I call it aging in place, okay? This guy ages like wine. Unfortunately, I'm not there yet. I don't think I'm going to age that way, but it is what it is. Now, when you're designing your soon-to-be updated bathroom, right, that remodel, think about your future needs, okay? Not only yours, but for your family as well, right? We're talking about, for instance, senior citizens or people with disabilities. There are several things that you can keep in mind, right, when that's going to help them during their daily activities. Let's talk about those things to consider, right? So we're going to talk about, for instance, a low or zero entry shower. What does that mean? So a low entry shower is that shower that has like that 3 to 4 inch curb, okay, that you got to step over. That's a low entry, which it's already helping you out. But let's say you need, for instance, wheelchair access. So now you're going to need that zero entry style shower. That's the one that looks like if you're walking straight into a beach or something.
Correct.
So the whole floor is a wet floor, right? Now, seats. Seats in the shower. My wife loves having a seat in the shower because, well, she can sit down if she's tired of standing up so much, or she can sit down to have, shave her legs or something like that, which is great. Now you're thinking, wait a minute, a seat in my shower, doesn't that take up space? The whole purpose of this is to make it look bigger, not smaller. Well, there's options, okay? You have your built-in seats and you have your fold-up seats, okay? Both worlds, you have them right there. So that's a great thing. And you have your walk-in bathtubs. These are excellent. So I believe, Ron, you told me your father had a walk-in bathtub, right? So this is great because it's a bathtub, but at the same time, it's a shower. So you have both worlds right there. Okay.
So there's some other things out there for us to consider as well.
Yeah.
As we age in place, right? Maybe you might want a higher toilet. We have toilets out there called comfort height or chair height toilets, something to consider. If you're super tall, it's kind of uncomfortable sitting down on a smaller toilet. So that's something to think about as well. Maybe a grab bar by the toilet or in the shower to help assist you when needed. And then we want some sinks and some vanities that are accessible to wheelchair access.
Yes.
Right? You want to make sure that you have like 30 to 48 inches from the front of the toilet to the wall for easier access for a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And then there's lighting. You want to have accessible lighting. So you want to think about those things. Larger switches, motion sensors, maybe smart lighting, right? That can be turned on with your voice. Wider doorways, right?
Yes.
You might have to open up the doorways. So when it's all said and done, we've talked a little bit about measurements, future needs. I say we go ahead and get right into vanities.
Vanities, nice. Okay.
So when you think of a vanity, think of a place where you're going to store stuff, a place where you have your sinks. And depending on how you enter your bathroom, your vanity could be a very focal point in your bathroom. Right? What you're going to see when you walk in. So a new or updated vanity can make that old bathroom feel brand new.
Yeah.
It can provide extra storage, even an additional sink. I've got this saying that says, if you currently have a master bathroom with one sink and you are married or having a partner, you need to get a double vanity if you have room. Now, even once you get the double vanity, that vanity space is going to become
subjective.
My wife kind of keeps pushing me down to where I have a tiny little space in the corner. But you know what? That's okay, right? That's okay.
That's why you need to get two vanities instead of one whole one with no sinks.
Never thought about that, man.
That's what I think.
I wish I would have thought about that, but
don't sweat it. Even though we have two separate vanities, every once in a while, I get something in mind as well. So now, Ron, how about you give us some different styles of vanities and guidelines we should use when selecting a vanity?
Okay, so style, more like a type.
Okay.
So let's go with types. So
types.
The first thing I'm going to tell you, when you're choosing the new vanity, measure. And when you're done measuring, measure again. Because the last thing you want to do is go out and purchase this thing and bring it in and it doesn't fit.
It's happened before.
Okay? So, and it's okay to err on the side of being a little smaller. Because depending on what type it is, you could put maybe a filler strip in either side, and everything will work out just fine. So when we think of types, think of a freestanding type vanity. That's going to be a vanity that's going to look like a piece of furniture.
Okay.
You can have like little furniture legs on it. You're going to be able to see underneath it. That's a freestanding vanity, and those vanities don't necessarily have to be attached to the wall. Okay? Things to think about.
Because they got legs.
That's right. Okay. Got legs. Well, because it's like I said, it's a piece of furniture. The only thing really holding it to the wall might be the backsplash off the sink, and of course the plumbing that's coming out of it. Right? Got it. Okay. Of course, I overbuild everything, so I'm always going to try to attach it to the wall. But then you think about kitchen cabinet style. What do I mean by that? Well, that's the style that's going to have like a toe kick on the bottom. For those of you who don't know what a toe kick is, it's that little strip that goes on the bottom, right? And it kind of like the cabinet kind of jets out a little bit, and then it kind of insets in the back.
I got that in my mind.
Yep, so that's kind of a kitchen cabinet style. You also might be able to think about a type of cabinet that might have more storage,
Okay.
right? More storage. Maybe instead of just having the 36-inch cabinet that opens up in the middle,
Okay.
maybe you go with a 30-inch, but then you got 12 inches or so of drawers on one side.
Yep.
So something like that to consider. You know, colors. Right? It might just be a color change for you. You might want to go from something that's in your opinion boring and bland to something that pops. I don't think I'd go orange, but you know what? I'm not going to yuck your yum if you want to go orange. Then we got maybe the double vanities, which is the king of vanities for me. Got to have two spaces if you have two people. And maybe you want to make more space.
Okay.
So you want to search out opportunities to make more space in your bathroom. And I see you going, so what I'm saying is maybe you use a corner. Maybe you use a corner. Maybe I want my vanity all to myself and I don't want to share.
Yeah.
So maybe I want to put it in the corner.
Make more space for other things.
Then you've got the pedestal type sink that doesn't have any cabinetry on it.
Okay.
It's just a sink, and that's good for small areas. But typically, you're going to see a pedestal type sink in maybe a half bath or that guest bath that doesn't necessarily have that shower or that tub, right? Bottom line is there are tons of styles and types out there that will help you kind of match with your current decor or step completely out of the box of whatever the rest of the style of your house is and go for something completely different. And there are several project guides out there on homedepot.com.
Yeah.
Now, you're aware of the different styles of vanities out there, but there's some other choices out there for them, Richard. Why don't you kind of take me through that?
Sure. All right. So vanities come in either with a top or without a top. Okay. And the reason why they do this is for additional customization, right? Let's make this your own. So vanity tops come in a wide variety of materials, such as, for instance, quartz, granite, ceramic, and then even laminate, right? That MDF style, right? Your choice of countertops will impact the cost of your budget. And so, for instance, a MDF, which is a more inexpensive style of countertop, would be great for a guest bathroom or powder room or anything like that. But if you want to step it up, you want a nicer, more durable, thicker, heavier countertop, then you would go with granite or with quartz, right? They're a lot easier to clean as well, and they're more water resistant as well, okay? Now, remember, vanity tops have different faucet hole configurations. This is really important. So whichever configuration you choose will also affect the style of faucet you'll be able to purchase, all right? The beauty of vanities, what is it? What is the beauty of vanities? It's that you can have it as a complete kit or you can have it separately. Now, when you have it as a complete kit, most of the time, this is gonna include your countertop. It's gonna include your faucet and even your mirror, right? Or you can go fully custom, make it your own by purchasing each part separately, which you can do in Home Depot.
Now, you've purchased a new vanity or you decided to redo it, repaint it, refinish it, or just transform it into something new. Now it's time to take and get rid of that old faucet, right, for a new faucet. Because why would you change out your vanity and not change out your faucet? There are tons to choose from. Let's dive into this topic.
Yeah, this is a really good one. Like I said, these are the small little details that are really going to help your bathroom stand out, okay? So with a new or updated vanity, you might want to include like Ron said, a new faucet, right? So when you're choosing that faucet, look for a water sense label. It's going to be on the box, all right? What's water sense? So water sense, they're labeled products that are certified to use at least 20% less water. They save you energy. Here's where I'll give you an example of that label, okay? They're gonna save you energy, and by energy, I mean like, for instance, your heating cost, et cetera, et cetera. And they're gonna perform just as well or even better than your regular models, okay? With WaterSense label, you know you're getting a product that meets or exceeds the FDA or sorry, the EPA standards. FDA is food, but EPA, I'm already hungry. That's what's going on. So, so Home Depot is a proud supporter of WaterSense faucets. Okay, for not only is faucets, is for showers and it's for toilets as well. We have dozens and dozens of styles of models of faucets. So please go ahead and visit one of our stores. We'll have everything you want. Now, just remember, just because you don't see it at the store doesn't mean we don't have it. You go into homedepot.com and there's hundreds of more options available.
Right.
Okay. Now, I'd like to share with you a quick tip when you're choosing your faucets, okay? And this is really important because it's gonna prolong the life of it and it's gonna make cleaning easier. It's called water hardness, okay? Every house has water hardness, a level of it, right? Let's put it that way. Now, it can be either well water or it can be the municipality water. Now, Home Depot has test kits at their locations that you can take home and test your water. It's going to tell you what your water hardness is. Water hardness is calcium and magnesium that's inside your water and it calcifies, right? It gets hard. You've probably seen this in your house already. For instance, in the shower heads, you see that white layer over your shower head or on the bottom plates of your faucets? That's hard water in your house. So think about faucets. If you want that new look now that are coming out like black or that bronze color, this is going to be affected with that water hardness. It's going to damage it and it's going to be harder to clean. Okay, so just take that into consideration when you're making your purchases. Now, if you want to get rid of the water hardness, then you just have to get a water softening kit for your house. Okay, now, Ron, we just went through a lot of, or a couple of important facts, right, on faucets. But now I'd like for you to explain, like you awesomely do, to our guests how to select that faucet, right? For that style of countertop that they've decided to have in their new bathroom remodel.
I got it. Now, as far as the style goes, I'm not really concerned about the style as much as like the type of faucet. So the first type of faucet you're generally going to see, and it's probably the one you want to replace, is probably going to be something along these lines. This is called a 4-inch center set. It's for a 3-hole sink type of a configuration. There's a center hole for the water, and the handles are going to be 4 inches from the center of the left and the right hole.
Got it.
Real important to understand, okay? I can't put a bigger type of faucet in these types of configurations without drilling more holes and then using a base plate or what we call an escutcheon plate to cover them up. The next one we have is called a widespread center set. It's also for 3-hole sinks, but the handles are much further apart. Now, the spacing between those handles, ladies and gentlemen, can range from 6 inches to 16 inches, depending on the supply lines that are underneath a faucet. That's how they can make it spread out that way.
Nice.
Okay. Now you can put like I said, a smaller one in a bigger configuration. But if you do that, then you're going to need some kind of sinkhole covers to cover them up, in order to do that. And then finally, we have what we call a single hole faucet. This is, once again, a single hole. It generally comes with a plate, and that plate is like an escutcheon plate to cover up those 3 holes.
So if I have a 4-inch current countertop, I can install this.
Absolutely can. Absolutely can. Now, faucets for this type of consideration or configuration have a spout, handles, valves, the mixing tee all in one. So we've talked a little bit about choosing that vanity. We've talked a lot about that faucet. So now the next big decision we kind of got to bust open is, what are we doing with that shower?
Yes. Shower and shower kits, right? The days of cramped showers are over. Okay, now you should have more space to, flex your elbows. So today's showers are generally larger, okay, for more elbow room and have multiple heads and sprays. You have to see Ron's bathroom. It's like a car wash, okay? It has so many different spray heads. But let's talk about shower kit. So a shower kit is a budget-friendly, right, option. It's a prefabricated shower cubicle, if you can call it that way, and it's ready to be installed the moment it's delivered to your house. Okay, it's really easy, and these shower kits include a shower base, a door, the wall, or both. Right, it includes everything sometimes. Okay, so just choose your type of shower kit based on the layout of your bathroom. Run. So we started talking about shower kits. Everyone's interested, and they're probably thinking, "Wait a minute!" But you were talking about different styles. Can you elaborate a little bit on those different styles of shower kits that we have available?
Sure, there are different, most certainly different types of shower kits based on what your needs are. Most common base comes with a base, comes with a shower door, and glass enclosure.
Okay.
They're to be installed against two tiled walls or in a tiled alcove. Okay, this type of shower kit is primarily used in kind of creating a corner type of shower. So those are things to think about. And then you've got a base and a wall shower. This kit's going to include the base, the walls, so the shower can fit in a corner or alcove without needing any tiled walls. That's kind of nice, right? You can add a door to it or use a shower curtain. Then you've got the base, the wall, and the door for the shower. That includes the single piece shower base, the walls, the door. Corner configurations are available in this style as well. So lots of stuff to think about, but when choosing the type of shower kit that you're looking for, you also need to consider the shower design. Kits come in three major designs: an alcove, a corner, and a freestanding shower. Now, that alcove kit is probably the most common design out there, Richard.
Okay.
They need to be supported by three walls, and they're available in either a square or a rectangular type shape. And then that corner kit fits into the corner of your bathroom, and it only needs those two walls. They can be square, they can be rectangle, they can even be what they call neo-angled with a door on the diagonal. So that's kind of cool as well.
So many options.
Right? And then you can have something called a freestanding shower.
Okay.
They're kind of less common than the other two shower kits. A freestanding shower only needs to be attached to one wall,
The back wall.
and that's the wall that's going to have the plumbing on it. And they're structured enough to be placed pretty much anywhere you want in your bathroom.
So, I mean, these shower kits really do sound like a great option for your primary bathroom as a more of a budget friendly. But in my opinion, I would really like to see and use these shower kits more like in your guest bathrooms or maybe a basement bathroom, right? Something that's more budget friendly and easier to use and easier to install.
I completely agree. And you know, guys, it's really that easy nowadays to change your complete shower out. And another item that can really boost that overall look of your bathroom is maybe just replacing the shower door. Richard, take us through some shower doors.
That's right. So if you don't want to install a new shower door can update a regular bathtub or a shower. A very popular trend nowadays are these glass shower doors. I have them in my house. I love them. And it gives you that optical illusion that the bathroom is larger, okay? It just keeps going until all the way to the end of the wall instead of blocking your view with a opaque curtain or something like that. So think about a glass shower. They can be frameless for a shower, right? Or that new trend now is that grid look. So it's going to be like squares. You're going to see it on the picture on the presentation that you're looking at right now. That looks really fancy, really, really modern. Now, if you have a shower tub combo, right? Consider a glass door for your tub. I never thought about this, okay? These come in fixed styles, okay? And they come in hinged also for easy opening, right? That's a really cool, I love that one, right? That one truly is more budget friendly. Also from these, you can choose, either framed, frameless, right? I like that frameless look because like it literally, there's no frame. It is just glass. So sometimes that glass just disappears and literally all you see is the back of your shower. That makes it look more larger, right? And aesthetic.
One of the things that we want to mention, Richard, is
Yeah.
when dealing with glass in general or dealing with like an enclosure or the door, there's one major thing that's going to impact price, and that's the thickness of the glass. Now, common thicknesses that you're going to see on the market are anywhere from 3/16 of an inch all the way to a half an inch.
Okay.
The jump in price is pretty drastic from 3/16 of an inch to a half an inch. So just be aware of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Awesome. Thank you for that information. And as well, when you're dealing about glass and you're going to go all that 1/2 inch thickness glass, remember this project is a do-it-yourself project, but do it yourself with help. Glass is heavy. You don't want to try to be holding the whole glass and at the same time trying to tightening it. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble, okay, and break that expensive glass. So please try to do this with someone helping you during this process. Now, Ron, let's go over a really big subject when it comes to showers. And we get lots of questions about this. Shower heads and sprayers, okay? A lot of people have a sort of love-hate relationship with shower heads. They think it's gonna work great, and then all of a sudden it gets home and oh, they're disappointed, or it's not what I wanted or what I needed. So let's clear up some of those worries. Take it away, Ron.
Now, before I start talking to you a little bit about shower heads and sprayers and the things that are available on the market, let me tell you kind of what I did in my bathroom and why I did what I did.
Perfect.
Okay, first of all, I wanted a lot of water. Okay, I get it. I got to pay a water bill. And
Car wash, car wash.
it's pretty much a car wash. I have one standard shower head, right, that comes out of the wall. I have a great big rainfall shower head that's almost, I want to say 18 inches in diameter.
Wow.
That comes down out of the ceiling. And then I have 6 body sprayers in front. And they're all controlled off a wireless connection where I can control it from my phone, and I can actually set the temperatures and the preset places that I want.
Okay.
So here's the coolness about it. You ever get into your shower and have to wait like 2 minutes or a minute for the water to get warm?
You mean the turn on and then just wait there for a bit?
With my shower, I don't have to do that because I can be on my way home from work and I could say I want to take a shower in 30 minutes.
Okay.
And the valve system is bringing the water into the unit, heating it to the temperature that I want. So the minute I hit the go button, the water comes out at the temperature that I want. It's so amazing what you can get. Now, would I have ever been able to probably put that in if I didn't do it myself? No, because it wasn't budgeted for it. But because I saved money in lots of places on labor, I was able to splurge in higher end finishes,
Yep.
making the bathroom even kind of a more of an upgrade.
I mean, it sounds like a hotel style bath. Here's an example of Ron. He gets in there, does one twirl, and he's done.
Actually, I do like to spend a little bit more time.
I can imagine.
right.
I can imagine. That's why you're aging in place. Again.
Yeah, right. It's good for all my ailments. So there are so many different shower heads out there today, but we're going to break them down into 3 major types for you, okay? We got a fixed shower head. They're going to be attached to a shower arm, and they're going to be mounted primarily to the shower wall. Now, some including a rain-type shower head, can be mounted from the shower head itself. Okay. So when we say rainfall, it's more not necessarily coming down on you, is the pattern of the water coming out of the head.
Got it.
Okay, so just to make sure we're aware of that. And then you got those handheld ones.
I like those.
People like handheld ones because, they're connected to that flexible hose. It can detach and can be mounted for better control and direction of the water coming from the shower head. That's kind of a cool thing. Now, just a side note for you, handheld shower heads are ideal if you got small children that you want to bathe, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you got a pet. You want to bathe your pet, or it makes it super easy. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen, to clean your shower.
That's
Just use the handheld shower head, and you can clean your shower. Now, hoses can be 84 inches or longer, and they will meet the American Disabilities Act, or the ADA, and stay within compliance. So that's kind of important too.
nice.
Last but not least, we got dual shower heads.
Okay.
This is the most popular type of shower head because people like to have more than one,
Okay.
right?
I like that.
Kind of cool. Dual shower head is a combination of a handheld and a standard fixed shower head.
Now, there are several things to look for in a new shower head. Let's talk about that. So you have water pressure and volume. The volume of water delivered by a shower head is measured in gallons per minute, GPM. You're going to see this a lot on the boxes of your shower heads. And remember, that's this GPM, even though the box says, let's say, I don't know, 5 gallons per minute. Let's say it's 5 gallons per minute. Remember, this is going to be affected depending on the water pressure in your house, right? Take that into consideration. If you know you have low water pressure, even though the shower head says 5 gallons per minute, it's not going to run at 5 gallons per minute because your water pressure is not up to that. Now, speaking of that, if you have low water pressure in your house, there are certain shower heads that are dedicated for low water pressure situations, okay? So even though you have low water pressure, it's going to be designed so that it can give you that same amount of pressure as a high water pressure one and the same effectiveness, okay? So that's really important.
Is that kind of like it kind of like inserts air into it to allow it to feel like it's got more pressure,
Yes.
even though it's using less water?
That's right. So it's exactly. So it's going to lower down on that GPM, but it's going to up on the pressure, right? Now, some shower heads also allow you to adjust the nozzle, right, for a stronger flow when needed. Now, Ron, we have talked about finishes and shower heads and all that good stuff. Let's talk a little bit about tub and tiles.
Yeah, I love tub and tiles. First of all, if your home is fairly old, it's probably got a really good tub, but the color of the tub might not be what you're looking for. You might have the baby pink tub, the harvest gold tub, or even the avocado green, right? Now, even though they're making a comeback,
Sort of.
I think,
Yeah.
like just like brass and gold fixtures, right?
Mhm.
You can refinish your tub. We got specialty refinishing kits that can do that for you.
Okay.
They're designed to do that. You can't use a regular paint though, so don't think you can go down to Home Depot and get yourself a little can of paint like this and paint your bathtub because it's going to wear off super quick. Number one, due to just the water pressure and temperature, and since most bathtubs are porcelain coated, they're non-porous. Okay, meaning they have no pores in them, right? To absorb or to allow things to bond. And you need some of that so that the paint will bond properly to it.
So it's a special kit.
Right, so there's gonna be some prep work involved.
Okay.
Now, prep work's gonna include making sure you clean it, and I mean clean it, and then I mean clean it again, and then just for, giggles, just clean it one more time using a degreaser.
Okay.
You're gonna remove all the caulk out of the corners and stuff like that, and here is the key.
Okay.
You're gonna scuff up the surface. You're gonna get a sand. You're gonna sand up the surface, and what that's gonna do, ladies and gentlemen, is it's gonna open the porcelain up so that, or the porcelain finish up, so that the finishing kit can bond to it, right?
Like,
Now,
okay.
I want you to consider this. You can apply this to ceramic, porcelain, and even fiberglass tubs, sinks, and tiles, right, to get a durable and resistant finish. Tough, protective coats. They're going to act like a porcelain kind of coat. And you can even get glossy porcelain-like finishes that provide you with a waterproof type finish. And you can actually get them in multiple colors. So you don't have to just have white or just have bone. You can get some colors out there as well.
Nice. Okay.
And in addition to that, you can get additional paints that can do the same thing for your tile, right? And they can come in basic colors all the way into specialty colors. So now we have finally worked our way down to maybe the floor. Now, if you decided on not painting your tiles, and I'm talking about your shower tiles and stuff too as well,
Okay.
but you want to completely replace them, let me kind of walk you through some of your options.
Okay.
Now, before we talk about patterns and all these different things and layouts, I think it's important to understand the types of tile that are out there for you.
Sure.
You've got porcelain. I like a porcelain tile because it's non-porous in most cases, and in most cases, the tile itself doesn't have to be sealed. Just the grout joints have to be sealed, and that's a maintenance saver, right?
Yeah.
The same thing goes with ceramic tiles that have a glaze or a gloss finish to them. If they don't have a glaze or gloss finish, then they require them to be sealed. And then finally, you have a stone.
Okay.
Stone is beautiful, but stone comes with maintenance. Stone is very porous, so it's going to require it to be sealed
Okay.
and resealed again as time marches on.
Like that.
And then you got the different sizes of tile to think about, whether it's your floor or whether it's shower. A big trend right now is using what we call large format tiles in showers.
Okay.
And we classify a large format tile as anything that can be 15 inches on at least one side.
Got it.
I have large format tiles in my bathroom,
All right.
and they are 6 by 36. I took wood floor looking tile and put it sort of in the bottom and at the top, and in the middle, I laid in 4 by 8 pieces of marble. So it looks really, really cool.
Okay.
And I also accented it a little bit with some mosaic porcelain 1x1s and like the niche for the shower. So there's lots of cool things that you can definitely do. Okay. Now, this can be a do-it-yourself project depending on how intricate and how detailed you want to be.
Yours sounds pretty intricate.
It took a long time. I don't even want to tell you how long it took me to do my bathroom. My wife was not happy, but I just thank my home that I had because I had other bathrooms for us to use. Now, the next thing after you just kind of decided what type of tile you want and what size you want, what about the layout? How do you want it to look? Do you want a waterfall pattern when the tiles are sitting vertically in like coming down like a waterfall? Do you want a chevron pattern? Do you want a traditional running bond pattern? That's kind of like you see with subway tile when they're stacked 50% over 50%. That's what they call a running bond pattern.
Okay.
And then there's even a herringbone pattern.
Yeah.
Lots of different patterns to choose from, right?
Yeah, you can even have like an accent wall. So you have your normal tile, then you have just this one line of certain this type of tile. That's gonna make it pop.
Absolutely, absolutely. Using multiple tiles in a shower is really, really smart. But it's also smart, whatever accent tile you used in your shower, you want to pick it up somewhere else in your bathroom. Like I created just a niche on a wall in my bathroom. And it's just something, to put baubles and soaps and things on. But the backdrop of it is the same tile that I used in the soap niche in the shower. So it kind of pulls it out in different areas of the bathroom itself, right? Okay. So we can definitely do those things as well.
I like it.
Now, kind of discuss tile, which was a big part of it. We discussed all the different items that you're going to have to think about for that bathroom remodel. Head's hurting, so your head's probably hurting. But now I like for us to kind of wrap things up in a nice box of jewelry. I like to think of it as the bling for the bathroom. You may call it accessories. Why don't you go ahead and take us through that?
Awesome. I like that. So another quick DIY project that makes a big impact is switching out bathroom accessories, right? So here we have an example of different accessories that you can switch out, right? You got your towel holder. So this is that small hand towel holder. I like this color. It's like,
I personally think it's a big toilet paper holder.
oh no, come on. It's a small hand towel holder. It's gold, but it's got that brushed finish instead of that chromy finish that normally gold has. You have these smaller towel holders, right? You got your chrome, you got your brushed stainless, and then you have your toilet paper holders as well. You got them in black. And what's this called again, Ron? What's the style you use?
Rubbed bronze.
They're so
Next, incidentally, just so everyone knows, this is what we mean by a running bond pattern of tile behind it. When we put this thing together, we wanted to use that running bond pattern for you. But if we flip it over and we show you some of the other cool things like in towel holders, you're going to see how we use large format tile here, and we just put the large format tile in there. Now, when you're using the large format tile, you don't want to do a 50% split on your tile. ladies and gentlemen, you want to do a 30% split because of just the sheer weight and size of the tile.
Makes sense. And here we have an example of, for instance, that grab bar that we were talking about for convenience and for your elderly citizens that are going to be visiting your bathroom, et cetera, et cetera. And here you have longer towels. These come in 18 inches, also 24-inch models. Here you have that black one. Here you have your bronze nickel or that stainless steel looking one. And the famous one that Ron's going to tell me right now again is
Oil rubbed bronze.
love it. So that's just an example for all of you guys. And now, keep in mind, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of options for you. So do your research, find what best suits you, okay? Now, think of the accessories as like Ron said, jewelry for your bathroom. Now, Ron, can you give me a description of what your bathroom looks like?
I can do it. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. Do not fall into a box. Do not think like, oh, I'm just going to do contemporary. I just want to do modern. I just want to do traditional.
Yes.
What I like to do is I like to take bits and pieces of all those elements and I like to cram together. So in my bathroom, we get sprinkled in a little bit of that farmhouse look. I use the dash of contemporary and I follow it up with a pinch of industrial. And hopefully we can get some pictures to you so you can see kind of what it looks like because I'm super, super proud of it. Bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, it's your bathroom. You design it how you want it.
You sprinkle, you dash, and you pinch whatever you want, right? So look for coordinating pieces, either in a set or separately, right? Many come with coordinating light features as well, okay? Mirrors and even cabinet hardware. Now, one of the most important aspects to bathroom is lighting. Lighting, ladies and gentlemen. No one likes to enter a bathroom and then feel it dark, right? So, Ron, let's look at some options for better lighting.
New lighting can make things look brighter or dimmer depending on what you guys want, right? So consider matching the lighting with the towel bars or other accessories. And you can even add a little bit of bling by putting a small chandelier in there somewhere, okay?
Fancy.
Now, here's a cool tip for light. If you've got tall ceilings, like I had tall ceilings, right, we can possibly have dark spots or heavy shadows on the fixtures. That's very common.
Yes.
Using light fixtures that point out, Richard, instead of up or down, will help disperse the light more evenly throughout the bathroom, taking care of those issues.
That makes perfect sense. And that actually happens in my bathroom. I have fixtures that are pointing directly down. Where my light fixture points directly down. So my fixtures always have a shadow. So I did that and I replaced it with one that faces forward. Now everything looks nice. Now, Ron, I have another question for you. And I know we get this one a lot. What's the correct light bulb color, right? Or temperature we should be using in a bathroom?
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, a lot of this stuff's going to depend on you and your personal preference, but correct lighting temperature for a bathroom is definitely going to vary, right? Definitely on the desired ambiance that you're looking for. For instance, I happen to love that old-fashioned Edison bulb. I've got those in my bathroom. Kind of gives it that industrial look, mixing it with that farmhouse look, like I said before.
Sprinkle.
Right? Sprinkled, right? But I love the yellowish, almost old-fashioned look of that light. But I generally recommend anywhere between 2,700 K to 3,000 K. And K is
Kelvin.
Kelvins. Kelvin is the measurement for that actual color, right? That kind of give you that warm, inviting atmosphere.
Yeah, you're going to see it in the back of all the light bulbs that you purchase in Home Depot. Turn it around. You're going to see a little bar that slides different colors. Those are the Kelvin temperatures, which affects the color of the light.
And you're going to get kind of that traditional incandescent bulb feel when you stay between that 27 and 3,000 Kelvin range. Now, warmer lighting temperatures can create a relaxing, soothing environment.
Yes, they do.
My wife loves relaxing, soothing environment. It can be a place where you want to unwind, create that spa-like kind of feel to it. So you also need to think about lighting as a complementary kind of accent point for your skin tones,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And make tasks like applying makeup and shaving a whole lot easier,
Yeah.
right? So those are things to think about.
I can see that, right? So you want the skin tones to be more accurate, so that way your makeup will be
Oh yeah,
and I can shave better as well, which looks like I need to shave. But it's important to note that the lighting in around 4,000 to 5,000 K range is more considered of a neutral or a cool white. While this color lighting is can provide a really bright and like energizing feel, it may not be suitable, right, for choosing as a way to create a relaxing ambiance in the bathroom. So, to achieve the best lighting results, I would do this. I would consider using a combination of light sources, right? So, for example, you can install a overhead ambient lighting, like Ron was saying, with warm white, warm yellowish bulbs, and then adding like a task lighting right near the vanity. So that way you can have that task, but at the same time, that yellowish ambiance that you were speaking of. Now that we've discussed lighting, Ron, I mean, what's it worth if you can't see yourself? So let's talk about mirrors in your bathroom. All right. So updating your mirror is another easy DIY project for sure that will enhance your bathroom. Now, there are a variety of mirrors, options like backlighting, anti-fog, or decorative frames. But just remember, mirrors are not only a functional upgrade to your bathroom, but it also makes your bathroom seem larger. Okay, a mirror is a great it's a mirror is a great way to enter it into a bathroom when the bathroom doesn't have any windows, right?
Right.
I've had questions where people say, Rich, what can I do if my bathroom doesn't have a window? Well, actually, introducing mirror. A mirror, what it does is it actually reflects the light that already your light fixture is throwing out. So it's going to make your bathroom seem larger and it's going to make it look brighter. Okay.
So when you're kind of picking out mirrors, you got those two basic types. You got squared versus round.
Okay.
When you think about a square or a rectangular mirror, I want you guys to think about that type of mirror conveying that sleek, that clean, that aesthetic that's out there, suitable for modern and contemporary type bathrooms, right? Now, the round mirror, on the other hand, serves as a super cool focal point in the bathroom.
Okay.
It can draw your attention to it, creating visual interest, especially if the rest of the bathroom is featuring predominantly straight lines and angles.
Yeah. So mixing it up a little bit.
That is a cool way of looking at it. Now, I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about a ton of stuff today, and don't feel crazy if you didn't get it all. Once again, you're going to be able to watch it again and again and again at your leisure. So with that being said, Richard, why don't you give us a quick rundown on what we discussed throughout this workshop?
Sure. I know Ron is probably sad now because the workshop is ending, but hey, more workshops are on the way, so you'll be seeing us in the near future. So let's talk about what we spoke during the workshop. We talked about budgeting and measuring, which is one of the most important parts of your remodeling project planning. And remember, you're going to measure, and you're going to measure again to make sure everything fits and you purchase the right items. We talked about updating your vanity, all the different options that we have, being able to color them or just simply replacing them, etc., etc. We talked about showers, shower heads, and tubs, okay? Excellent information on that. We talked about tile inspiration, all the different varieties of tiles, all that intricate work that Ron did in his bathroom, including those different tiles, but making it look all seamless at the same time, okay? And at the end, we talked about bathroom accessories, all the different bathroom accessories that you can change, which with these little details makes all the difference in your remodel.
Wow. And that's awesome. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's only one thing left for us to do, and that's to thank you. Thank you for spending time with us today. Right? Never fear. Workshops Live is here. If you've got questions, feel free to reach out to us at workshopslive@homedepot.com. On behalf of myself, Richard, the Workshops Lives crew, and Home Depot, we want to say thank you. We want to say good luck with your project and thank you for shopping the Home Depot.